What better way to head into the Thanksgiving Day holiday than Tennessee basketball coming back home and winning their first game since claiming the Baha Mar Championship to the tune of a 78-35 victory over UT Martin. 3 things to know following that win here at home. I'm Paige Dower. This is the Field Pass on Full Disclosure. The first thing to know after Tennessee defeated UT Martin, the offense looked sharp. There was no letdown after Tennessee returns home after claiming the Baha Mar Championship. That can be sometimes an emotionally draining trip to go all the way to the Bahamas and then come back, and shortly after you're back home before yet another break. The offense was a little spotty to start the game. Chaz Lanier, once he got going, he was pretty efficient from beyond the arc, especially when it came to his field vision and being able to pass the ball as well, which I think is the one area where he can continue to grow in his game. It's really in the second half where we saw a number of those scoring runs happen for Tennessee. There was about a 3.5-minute stretch where they went on a 12-1 run. At the same time, UT Martin was held pretty much scoreless except, again, that one free throw. The game ended on an 11-0 run for Tennessee, and that really was kind of how the second half went and how they got to their 78 points on the night. But what was most impressive or most notable about what Tennessee did on offense were the offensive rebounds that they had. They had 20 offensive rebounds to their 29 defensive boards. That's an area of this team that I wasn't expecting them to be able to take this next step in their offense this early into the season. So their ability to give themselves a second chance as frequently as they are will be so important once, of course, they get into more conference or similar caliber opponents. The second thing to know, the defense probably looked even better than how the offense looked. In fact, the 35 points that the Skyhawks were able to score was the fewest points an opponent has scored in all of Thompson-Boling Arena history. So that is a huge testament to what Tennessee was able to do on defense. Leading the way, of course, was Felix Akpara. He had about 4 blocks on the night. They had 9 steals as well and had plenty of points over turnovers. So their effort and grittiness, especially down low and making sure to close those lanes, was a great sight to see. And their focus that they had, even coming off of again such emotion in the Bahamas with all of those caliber of opponents, then to come here. And UT Martin is a really well coached team, and it was actually what their head coach said after the game that was really what highlighted mostly about what this defense was able to do. He says he was incredibly impressed with how fluid and connected they are on defense. He says that Tennessee is probably one of the best teams in the country, and their head coach Rick Barnes, he says that he's probably one of the most underrated coaches in the country, and that's what he walked away with, despite being able to put up 78 and dominate on the offensive glass. It was what they were able to do on defense that left UT Martin's head coach the most impressed. The third thing to know, it was the home debut for Darling Stone-Dubar, who missed the first handful of games for personal matters and then made his season debut in the Bahamas. And then it was here tonight where he had a really nice 3-pointer, and then he had a fantastic fast break layup, which actually capped off a 7-0 run that they had at the same time, where they had that 12-1 run that I talked about earlier. In the end of that 12-1 run, it was a 7-0 advantage for Tennessee, capped off by Darling Stone-Dubar. And when I asked him after the game, how nice was it to finally be on the Pat Summitt floor, to make your home debut? He is someone who is one of few words, but he had such a grin on his face. He was so excited to be able to be out here on the court. He says he was having so much fun playing with his teammates. Igor Milicic said that it was great to have him back out here. He says he's a part of us. He's a huge part of us. So to have his presence out there was a real big win for Tennessee in a number of different ways, even regardless if he's not putting up these crazy stats in the box score. And, even Rick Barnes talked about how excited he was to have Darling Stone-Dubar back out on the field. He knows that there is so much room for him to grow, and he knows he'll continue to grow. And as he's been battling through these personal matters, Darling Stone-Dubar talked about how the support that he's had from his teammates and the coaching staff has been really comforting during this time. So it'll be really exciting to see him, kind of get back into his rhythm, get back into his new sense of normalcy, and to be able to be a big contributor for this team, because he really is such a big presence. But yeah, Tennessee gets a really solid win here at TVA before they go on their Thanksgiving Day break, and I hope you all have a fantastic Thanksgiving as well. And I will talk to you guys on Friday as Jimmy and I have a keys to the game for Tennessee football and Vanderbilt. That could be a dangerous game for a number of reasons. But thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. Talk to you Friday.